Or are we discussing whether we should have a glass of wine first before we do that?
Wait, what time is it? Yeah, I think it's time.
It's 5, somewhere.
Yeah. No, the thing about wine is that you don't have to wait until 5. It's just right now.
Yeah.
So I'm going to start it off while you guys kind of think up some questions. And I'm just going to do a quick plug, even though these guys are sitting here. Woo! I've been doing a new show on Sirius on channel 106. The channel is called Volume, and it's a talk station about music. All day long, 24/7, 365. So we've been, my show is debatable. I'm live from 4 to 7 p.m. Monday through Friday. So
I think your show's very good. I wouldn't say it's debatable at all. I think it's going all the way.
Thank you. Thank you. My show's, that would be questionable, which it is.
Or something.
What do you think? So you might download that, right? How many? Here's an interesting question. How many people download music here? Well, that's a lot. How many people buy CDs? Even more. How many people buy vinyl? All right, you're the cool people. You're coming with us. No. So who's got a question for Rick? Who's got a question? I see lots of hands here. Where's Mr. Microphone? There he is.
There can't be any questions left, really. I mean, if you've read my book and we've talked on a couple of these things, are there any questions left?
He's just going to go page 47. Paragraph 3.
Hello. Oh.
Stand up, could you? Stand up and tell us your name.
Oh, God.
Oh, standing up. My name is Becky. I'm from Indiana.
Cool, feedback.
I'm from Indiana. Is this the last one that you're gonna do? The last band getaway?
I don't know.
All right, thanks for clearing that up.
It's pretty great coming to a place like this. After the second Port St. Lucie one, I was going, I don't know. But a place like this has kind of revived it. I don't know. We go year by year, really.
Let's take a vote!
All in favor, say aye. All opposed, say nay. Cricket.
No. You gotta do no more floating petri dishes, please. Hand sanitizer every 5 feet. Gotta be a reason they do that, right? It's mandatory now when you go into the dining room on these cruise ships, you must do the hand sanitizer or they won't let you in. It's a little creepy.
Not around here. All right, we got somebody down front there. Oh.
Hi, I'm Bonnie, and I have to apologize if you've answered this question on every single getaway, but this is my first time, so I haven't heard the answer.
Woo! Right, very good.
And I picked a good one to come to for the first time, so. But anyway, Rick, I was curious about the whole songwriting process. Do you write the music first, or do you have lyrics and think of things to go with the music, or how do you do that?
I usually come up with a title first, and build an idea around that. I think about it for a while and think like Honeymoon in Beirut's actually a classic example. That title just came into my head one day, and I had no idea what it meant, but I wrote it down. And a couple of months later, I started to get an idea, and I wrote the song and realized it was about, a broken relationship, which a lot of my songs are about.
And how angry you are about that.
How damn angry I am about it.
So a lot of times, so we come with the title first, and a lot of times the title just happens to be a girl's name.
Yes, that's a good song. I know. I could do a whole album of like Rick Springfield songs he named after women, right?
Hello, I'm Jolene.
Jolene, turn Jolene's mic on.
Hi, I'm Jolene.
Don't
Are
you
you
say
joining
it.
us for dinner
It's not a
tonight? And if
penis.
so, can I sit at your table?
Wait, what was that?
Are you joining us for dinner tonight? And if so, can I sit at your table?
Are you joining us for dinner tonight, and can I sit at your table?
Oh, you can all sit at my table. How big is my table?
Oh,
It's huge, right?
it's an all-inclusive.
We're
It's
gonna
an
all have dinner
all-inclusive
together, right? Isn't
deal.
that the plan? Just get up and roam around, and you know.
Between meals, they land helicopters on it, so it's a pretty good song.
If you've ever been to like a bar mitzvah, this would be like Rick's bar mitzvah. He'll be coming around to say hello, thank you for coming.
And I will expect cash. Game. You're our head drinks assistant. Come and sit closer. Dougie and I don't have cooties, so we can do this.
I should say also, you know, Doug is here not just for comic relief. If you have some Y&R questions, he may field one or two of
I'm not going to
those.
share just in case I'm wrong about my voice. I think it's the air conditioning, but it would be horrible if he sounded like this.
Dougie always loses his voice at these things, though, doesn't he?
But I didn't do anything to cause it this time.
You were screaming at the mic last night. I remember that.
But I was hoarse after that. Oh, really?
I love horses.
Yes.
All right, we got somebody in the back who's got
Doug saying he may have cooties.
Well, I'm not sure. But if you can't sing, what are we going to do for 3 days?
Well, you can have you guys sing like we did last night, right?
Go fish.
Great, what's your question out there?
Hi, I'm Chris from Nebraska.
Hi, Chris.
Was wondering what part of the songwriting process you like the most. Is it actually writing the song, getting into the studio, or performing it live for the first time?
They're all different, actually. I really love starting a song because it's like when you first have a baby. We were talking about this, Doug and I, before. You think you're going to be the perfect parent. My baby, I'm going to do everything right. And my child will love me and be incredible and great at school and be the most popular kid in the class.
Because we were such great parents.
And then you realize
Day 2.
parents are here to fuck up their children.
What do we do now?
So it's like that. It's like, starting out is like everything's possible. And it's so much fun because you get a great idea and you like it. And then it either all turns to shit or it goes somewhere great. And somewhere in between, too. I love finishing a song. I also love really working on it when I'm really into it. And then I love recording it, and then I love playing it live. So it's, I probably, like some of the, why I don't know a lot of my songs is because we work on them and work on them for months and months and months. Oh, you're a good girl. And, thank you. And then, unless we play them on stage, we'll never play them again. So you kind of forget about it. And I hear some songs, I go, wow, that was a really good song. Why didn't we do that? So I can enjoy the songs again. I actually heard, I remember in the 90s, I hadn't heard April 24th, 1981 since I recorded it. And I had an old cassette tape back when there was still cassette tapes. I put it in the car and it happened to have this song on it. And it was just amazing to me. It just took me right back to that moment. I started crying and everything. So I probably nobody appreciates my songs more than I do.
That's not true.
But I don't listen to them all the time.
They're so personal.
They speak to me. Kind of constantly up for an idea for a song, like you can't help it.
Yeah, it's just automatic at this point. I get a lot of stuff from reading. I get a lot of ideas from reading.
Well, even today, he was walking past the helipad and the Oval Office. And then 20 minutes later, he goes back the other way. But you always are working, whether it looks like it or not.
Right. I don't really consider it work. Even this is like it's a blast to me doing this kind of stuff. I get tired,
But this is the longest you've sat down all trip.
Yes, it is. And my ass is really sore.
What's the longest
Why is
that you
that?
have taken?
Now we're getting down to it, huh?
So happy to know that. Thank you for sharing. What's the longest that you have taken to write a song? How long have you beaten yourself? And what song would that be?
Well, it depends, because for Working Class Dog, I had a whole bunch of songs, And I liked some pieces and I didn't like others, so would take a piece out of a song and then write a new song with that. Like Everybody's Girl, I had a song with that solo, guitar solo, and I thought the solo was great, but I didn't really like the rest of the song. So that was done over like a whole year. Jesse's Girl was, I worked on that for like 3 months, I think, just to go on, because I'd write a couple of songs at once. But yeah, it depends. I mean, like Alien Virus, I wrote like in one sitting. My Father's Chair, I wrote in one sitting. Usually they take, because I work and rework the lyrics. Lyrics are very important to me. The melody just comes and is either a good melody or it's not, and I either abandon it or I keep it. But the lyrics are very important to me to try and say something away from a cliche, which is why there's the word moot in that damn song.
Over here.
Where are we? Where?
From Chicago/Tulsa later in life and now? Yeah.
Oh,
I probably met you once or twice. Anyhow, I was curious about your music in the sense that we're still on the subject of writing music, okay? I can't believe I sound like this in the microphone. Sorry.
You been drinking?
This is the way I normally am. Okay, no. Dogs and guitars. Why don't you write more songs about dogs and guitars? That's the question.
Is it why don't you write more songs about dogs and guitars? Question to you, Rick.
Doug, you have an answer for that?
Well, he actually has written about dogs. They're just so filthy you can't sing them out loud.
Yeah, we actually were, in our early days together, Doug's sister, who I was dating for a while, had a dog that we both loved. Her name was Doggy, and Sasha, but she was awesome. And we would write rude songs about her, basically, which we can't repeat, but was done out of absolute love.
Oh no, seriously, you can't just sing a couple of lines for me? Give us a couple bars. Come on, you would really want to. Wow, they must be really good. That's all right. Let's get some more wine up here.
Close to there. Close enough. So at the last trip, we participated in a songwriting session with you.
It's a song.
Where's our Rocket Science came out, and I'm thinking,
I still
should have
have
made it. Where is our song?
Yeah, we haven't gotten into the studio and finished that. You know what? It's like typical of the DVDs come out like 3 years after the trip, don't they? So I think we're going to do that with the song. Eventually we'll do it. I do still have the waveform saved somewhere, and we will do it. I understand it was quite rude, as I remember.
Didn't we record it?
What's that?
Didn't you record it?
No, we did it, here, but I was going to go in and do a real version of it. Blow My Mind or something? Yes. Yeah, we'll get to it, I promise.
Way in the back up there. Hi, what's your name?
Joanne. This
Hi,
is
Joanne.
a question, two-part for Rick. You touched a little bit last night at the show about your swanky digs up there at the, I don't know, what's it called?
The bridge
suite?
room?
The bridge suite or something?
The Bridge Suite.
Yeah.
They call it the Michael Jackson Suite.
So...
Rick! Look at this!
You actually went there.
I was thinking about it, we all were, but it's okay. I mean,
Filter.
it's awesome.
Filter, okay? Mixed crowd.
Hey, we're amongst friends.
You're asking the impossible.
So anyway,
Yes.
it's a pretty big deal, that suite. Like, what kind of toilet paper do they have up there? Is it the cheap shit we have?
What kind of, I'm not sure why, but what kind of toilet paper do they have in the bridge suite?
Is it good, or is it the cheap shit we have?
It's gold plated. It's very painful. But it's awesome.
But the cool thing is, he has a butler who does it for him.
And what's your favorite thing about staying up in the suite? What do you kind of dig about it?
What do I think about what?
What is your favorite thing about staying up there in that nice suite? What do you dig
It
about
makes me feel like a king. No, it's just, I don't know, it's kind of big. It's a long walk to the bathroom. Yeah, the food sucks. The menu, I mean, this gigantic friggin' place, it's amazing. But they got this menu like it's from the subway. That's the worst. Because there's so many great restaurants here, and none of them deliver to the room. But it's pretty awesome. If any have been in the room, right? Who's been in the room? It's pretty amazing. It's kind of one of those things you go, wow. That's pretty much all you can say.
Are there people here who have not yet been up there, but have the in Rick's room thing going on?
It's pretty amazing just to see it. It's like, oh.
You're doing it again tomorrow, right?
I think we are, yeah.
My name is Sherry. I'm from Philadelphia.
All right.
Over this way.
Go to Philly! Oh, sorry.
This is a question for any of you. As a mother of a 21-year-old who is a computer major but really wants to go into music, how do I go about I'm trying to be as good as supportive as I can, but telling them to go the other direction as I can. Not really sure.
It's a girl that's 21?
It's a boy.
A boy?
And he really wants to go into music. And I'm trying to be supportive, but I'm trying to explain to him it's like a needle in a haystack as well.
So are you getting this? So the question, she has a
He wants to go
21-year-old
into
son
songwriting.
Who's apparently
wants to go into
a
music. So what would be your advice? How can he make his name? How can he get known?
Well, there's no path, any one path that you can say, you know, okay, you do this. And it's a personal journey like any of our careers are.
Right.
I don't know what, you know, everybody's job is, but, you know, could you explain how to be successful in your job to somebody?
Well, wait a minute.
You just pick the cans up and...
No, I have a question for you. Does he play an instrument?
He does, guitar.
Big start right there, that's good. He's playing a guitar.
Right.
And he plays for like 8 hours a day. I keep saying if you would put a little bit more into your studies, then, you know.
Yeah, dude, I did the same thing. My mom wanted me a career to fall back on. She said, you know, become an electrician or plumber or something so that you have something to fall back on. And I think the fact that I didn't have anything to fall back on I didn't have an escape route, you know?
Okay.
And this is very hard to say. I probably wouldn't say this to my own kid, although I have. I've said this to my own son. I said, you follow your passion and don't worry about, you know, the money or how hard it'll be to get there. Just the only thing to do is have a passion for something and then never, ever, ever give up. And that's the whole fucking point of success. That's how you become successful. And the road is littered with incredibly talented musicians and actors who said, you know what, fuck it, I'm done. And other not so talented that said, I'm gonna do it until I get there. You know, so it's persistence in any career. Absolute persistence and a belief that you will get there. And you know, you have up and down moments. God, I had terrible moments of suicide, you know, thinking I was gonna have to kill myself rather than, you know, not become successful or whatever, but I love what I was doing, and that's what pulled me out of any slump I had.
Here, a side note, just from observing him for so long, that I've never known anyone who works harder and more continually. He works as hard today as he did 35 years ago, 40 years ago. He just doesn't stop. He's totally driven. And he never stops, and you just know that. And I think if your son wants to work that hard, then doors open eventually. Okay. I mean, it's nonstop though.
Yeah.
How somebody becomes successful. What's that?
I try and be as supportive as I can, but I'm kind of the same way, like that leery mother, like, oh, go finish computers first, and then go and do what you want.
Say that again, you have to finish what?
I always think like he should still finish the computer degree first. But
Get it.
That's your advice as a parent. I can't step in on that. So I'm just telling you my personal, story is that I didn't have a plan B, so I had
Yeah,
to
he
stay
doesn't
in
want a
there
plan
until
B.
something happened.
And here's
But I'm not suggesting that for your son, because he may, you know, get something going and become a freaking computer billionaire, you know, and then play. I know computer billionaires who all they want to do is play guitar, play in a band, you know. So it really it's where your passion and commitment level is.
But
That's what it is.
also, it's a different world now. He does a lot of recording with his computer. So I mean, it might not be such a bad idea.
Pro Tools and you know.
Yeah, such a bad
Pro
idea.
Tools,
Well, I would say,
Standard.
tell me what you think about this. I mean, these days there are there's plenty of people who they do great music on Pro Tools, and then they post it. They post it on SoundCloud,
Do it for
and they
nothing.
post it on YouTube, and they get record deals out of it. I mean, that's the way it works.
That's how Justin Bieber started, right? He was on YouTube.
Justin Bieber was discovered on YouTube.
And Taylor Swift was. What? You son of a bitch.
So fucking with you, yes. Oh my God.
They stole my wine. So anyway, Taylor
Maddie.
Swift would go knocking on doors, you know, as like a 15, 16-year-old songwriter in Nashville. Just go knocking on doors saying I sing.
I worked for Taylor Swift. That's for sure. Taylor Swift went knocking on doors in Nashville.
That's what I'm talking about.
Yeah. But the other thing is about that is, yeah, there is the posting songs online, and if everything just goes to shit, you can always get into radio. Read it.
Well, yeah, they wanted to see me for the right stuff, and I said, what? Never heard of that movie.
Wait, we need to hear the...
I'm going to do a movie that I starred in. It's called Hard to Fucking Hold.
Tell
What
the
an
Ricky and
idiot.
the Flash story. You
I
almost walked away.
know. Just took me a while to kind of recover from Hard to Hold.
That's because it was hard to watch.
Oh! Boom! Bada bing! All right, who else? Waving at it. Hey!
Doreen from Dayton. First of all, Mark, you know damn well there's no money in radio.
Okay, good point.
Comment
Thanks,
from
Doreen.
Rick. I think you should write a song with all of our names in it and just get it over with in one shot. My question, though, is for Doug. And I'm not the only one that's asked this, I'm sure. No, Rick. I'm sorry. I said your thing first. The question for Doug is, where the hell is Sharon's kitchen on Young and the Restless?
Oh, I know.
Is it 1 by 2?
It's upstage. To the
What?
right.
Do they not think that we can see that there's actually no room? Because there's a door with
Yes,
a
they
light.
think that.
They see, they just don't care.
They do think that.
Oh, they do think we don't see that?
Yes.
Okay then. Thank you.
Wait, how can you see in there?
There's a door, and then there's a light around the door, and then there's a closet, and then there's a window, and then the kitchen is supposedly behind the closet.
Right.
But there's a window on each side. So either the kitchen is 1 by 2, or it goes into a bunker.
It's a toaster oven.
Am I the first person that's
Can't
ever
really
asked
see
that?
Sharon cooking, can you?
No, but she's always getting cookies. So,
Is that a set design faux pas?
am I the first person that's ever asked that?
What?
Am I the first person that's really ever asked that?
Yes. It's kind of a strange question.
Very weird question, but a good one.
Did someone-
Obviously paying attention, have a great eye for detail.
Yeah, did someone put their hand down because they went, oh, I was going to ask that. Shoot.
So that was it. Doreen is in radio. So maybe you want to, maybe interior design or something should be your, because there is no money in radio anymore.
Yes, she is radio.
All right. Over here in the back. Hi.
I got in 1981. I lost my dad in 1984. I was a senior in high school. I was 17. So this is where my question is coming from. In Magnificent Vibration, the character Ronan, I noticed that his birthday was your dad's anniversary date of passing away. So I wondered if you could, is your dad in that character, or if you could give us a little information on that.
Yeah, he is a bit in a character, and I just use those dates really as kind of a nod and a wink to the few people who would get it, fans who understood that.
It's
Just
kind of
something
like
to-
Sharon's kitchen idea, He's taking aim at a very small part of the population.
Go ahead. The last question.
Hi, my name is Liza Marcotte, and I'm a dog groomer. And from Spokane, Washington.
Where? Spokane? From
The one that
Spokane.
made the jacket that you signed today. And on Bindi, do you take her to a dog groomer, or do they come to your home? And if you were a dog, what kind of dog would you be?
That's a Barbie question.
She goes to she can't be clipped, she has to be stripped where they pull the hair out. It doesn't
Yes,
hurt.
hand stripping.
But it's something that we can't do, so we have to send her somewhere. And truly, they came home with a ball of hair that big off my dog, and she's this big. But if I was a dog, Gomer was pretty. He was a pretty spiritual dude. He loved everybody and just so much soul in his eyes. I'd probably come back as Gomer.
If you come to Spokane, bring your pet, and I'll groom him for free.
All right, everybody. Very good. Thank you. Thank you all.
See you at the surprise show later on. We'll see you at dinner, right? Is that what's next?
All right, dinner is
Right?
next.
Is it dinner next?
Dinner, I believe, is next. What?
Dinner and a movie.
Oh, we've got the cocktail party after that cover band that we heard about that you guys brought in rehearses.
Oh, Mr. Kite and the Hendersons.
Right.
Yeah.
After their rehearsal, I think then we have a little cocktail party. I don't know. Do you have my itinerary? Because I don't know what the fuck is next.
Is there an itinerary that you guys can follow? Oh my God.
We should get one of those.
Oh wow, they were printed up and everything. Damn, Rick.
Wow.
Hey, that's me. What am I doing in that? So, Rick, what are we doing? What's next?
We are
Deluxe cocktail party at 6.
Deluxe cocktail party.
At 6. All right.
Not quite sure what deluxe means, but we'll find out. I think it means it's at an awesome place, right? And then there's a group.
And there's the group dinner.
Maybe. There's a group dinner. Oh, I'm sorry, group dinner. And the one
That's just locker room talk now. You can just stop that right now. Oh! Boom!
I know. And then doors open to the